Hey Bob, I don't know this is a really good time to buy a house. I've been looking on the news and I just don't think it's a really good time, okay? Oh, thanks.
Don't be afraid to buy a house. There's 5 big reasons why most people are afraid, and we're gonna get through them together. It's Take a Tip Tuesday.
You know, Bob, everybody that lost their house in 2007, the economy could go bad. This is not a great time to buy.
Hi, my name is Kristina Smallhorn, your real estate whisperer, providing you the best real estate tips with a dash of humor. Be sure to subscribe now so you don't miss my most beneficial but humorous tips. This week we're going to be talking about facing your fears when buying a home. I know that there is about 5 really big ones. I've done a lot of research and we're going to face those 5 big fears together. I'm going to tell you how you can combat those fears so you can take control of your home buying process. The first biggest fear that most people have is that they're going to lose value in the home. I know that if you saw the stock market change in 2006, 2010, all the way through 2010, the sky was falling and everybody around you, it seemed like, was losing their house. If you have that concern that the market is going to change to that drastic level, there is some things that you can do to combat it. Here in Ascension Parish, if you actually looked at those numbers during that time, it was starting about the end of 2006 all the way until about 2009, the numbers did drop quite a bit. But they didn't drop so much where people lost all their value within 10 years. Matter of fact, the people that stayed in their home, that bought a house in 2006, 2007, now they're selling their homes, they actually made a really big profit. On my personal home, I bought it for about $207,000. And if I was to sell that same home 10 years later, I would have been able to make about $30,000 on it, which is a good, healthy economy when it comes to your buying your house. If you're concerned about your house and your area that you're going to purchase, ask them to pull up the numbers that you have in your area for that particular neighborhood. Find out how much the values actually did go down in that neighborhood and see what the value is at this current market right now. See how much money those people would have gained if they held on to their home. And also ask them to pull up other foreclosures in the area. See how much those foreclosures actually went for and how much damage was done to those homes, so you have a good idea of what could possibly happen if the sky was to start falling again. To have good communication with your real estate agent is super important to face your fears. So don't ever be afraid to ask any questions or express the fact that you have fear of losing value in your house.
Hey Bob, remember when Aunt Gladys bought that house? It turned into a real money pit. I'm really worried about that. What are you doing?
The second most common fear that most people have is buying a money pit. I know you've turned on HGTV and you've seen the shows where they flipped houses and they think they're getting a good deal, and once they get in there they find out that the foundation is bad, they have to re-roof the whole thing, and the plumbing has tree roots growing in it, and in your mind you're having this kind of fear if you're going to buy like a foreclosure or a fixer-upper. So the first thing I want you to do is, when you sign the dotted line for your purchase offer, is to ask for a 10 to 15 day inspection period. The reason I want you to do this is because right after that, I want you to hire a very good inspector, somebody that you trust and you've worked with for a long time. If you don't have one, you can ask your real estate professional to provide at least 3 for you to go over your house. And then that is like one of those investments. It's about $300 to $500 to have them go through and give you a good inspection of your house. They can give you a detailed report of everything that's wrong with your house. Have them explain everything that is wrong, and then start making a list of things that need to be repaired immediately. And then once you get that list, I want you to get the name and number of at least 3 contractors minimum. I want you to call them up and ask for estimates. Have them meet you at the house and give you estimates for how much it would cost them to fix all the things that are wrong with your house. I would not necessarily go with the cheapest bid. Go with the one that has the best reviews and the best quality, because sometimes when you go cheap on quality, you regret it in the end. The next thing I want you to do is, once you've picked out your contractor that you want, add an extra 10% to that dollar amount for unforeseen issues. You never know what can happen when it comes to opening up those walls and seeing like bad insulation or anything that could possibly happen, even termites. So just make sure that you have that extra cushion when you do buy a house that is going to be a fixer-upper.
Okay, Bob, I'm not gonna get a house unless it's a really good deal. There's no way that I'm spending too much on a house. Do you understand me, Bob?
The third most common fear is the fear of I could have gotten a better deal. I had a couple I worked with years ago that kept lowballing house after house after house after house. I think we put in at least 13 contracts because they were trying to get the best deal. And they couldn't understand why people were not taking their offer. And it was because they were offering so low that the sellers were insulted or they wouldn't even respond to them. The problem with it is that they had a lease on their apartment. So when it came down to the time real close where their lease would not even be renewed, they had to buy a house. So they ended up buying a house that really wasn't much of a deal. They ended up having to buy a brand new house that they couldn't negotiate the price on, and that was it. They had no choice. It was actually even smaller than what they wanted as well. Don't be crippled by the fact that you want the best deal ever. If you find a house that is in your price range and it is a good deal for you and your family, don't think that the house down the road is going to be even better. Stick with what you know and in your gut feels good, and ask your real estate agent if this is a good deal. Of course, always ask your real estate agent to pull up numbers and comparables to the neighborhood, and they will be more than willing to give you a full report of the whole entire neighborhood and how much the people bought the house for originally.
Hey, Bob, I was just looking online and there's like 40,000 different kinds of loan packages online. We're never gonna figure this out.
Another fear that a lot of people have when it comes to purchasing a home is the fear of the mortgage and the mortgage payments. Everybody's heard horror stories that someone qualified for a lot more money than they can actually afford. So they became house poor is what they call it, because they were able to pay the mortgage payment, but they weren't able to furnish it. One of the things I want you to do, the first thing I want you to do, is at least get 3 lenders that you can speak with and go over all the loan packages they have to offer. I want you to make sure that you've checked their online reviews and their Facebook business page. See what other people are saying about them. And make sure that they have loan packages that with 0% financing, like a rural development loan, what the differences of FHA loans. Would you be better off doing a conventional loan? Do a little bit of homework and know what you're gonna say to your lender before you meet with them. And then take that same package and go to the next lender and say, this is what lender A gave me. Are you gonna be able to meet these prices or do better? And then after you met with lender B, go to lender C and see if you can even get a better deal. That way you can save a little bit more money and you feel like you're in control and you're a little bit more savvy than the person that bought the house without checking with their lenders.
Bob, I just think that if we rent, it's just gonna be a safer bet for us. We should just stay renting a home. I think that's best.
The last fear that a lot of people have, especially if they've been renting for a while, is renting feels safer. They feel like that the amount of money they'd probably pay in rent would be about the same as a mortgage payment. Well, here in Ascension Parish and surrounding Baton Rouge area, that couldn't be further from the truth. Let me just show you. You can take a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,300 square foot home. You can get a mortgage on it, and your mortgage payments would, at a 4.5% interest rate, would cost you about $912. Then you can take the taxes. That's about $900 a year. And then you have your insurance, and that's about $800 a year. And then you have your PMI, private mortgage insurance. That's gonna run you about $150 a month, making your payment around $1,204 a month. Now, renting that very same home, you would be paying $1,350 a month. So you're thinking, well, I don't have to worry about the maintenance costs. The thing is you're not getting any kind of tax deduction. You're having to pay a landlord, and then you're not even also getting any kind of equity. And we all know rent goes up. One other thing is, if you're concerned about those kinds of maintenance costs that you might have throughout the year that you're unsure of, you can always get a home warranty, which costs about $600 a year. And then if you have a problem with your house, like a plumbing or air conditioning unit problem, you just call the home warranty company, and that's a $75 service fee, and they come to the house and they fix the problems that you're concerned about. So it always works out here at Ascension Parish and the Baton Rouge area that renting would not work out for your benefit as well as buying a house. If you want some more information about buying and selling your home, you can always email me at info@yourrealestatewhisperer.com. If you want to watch some more buying tips, you can always click the playlist over here, and always make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any of my great buying and home selling tips. My name is Kristina Smallhorn, your real estate whisperer for Ascension Parish, and I tell you all this because you matter.